Have fun. Makeup is artistry. It's good to let loose a little bit.
Welcome to Trash Pop Digital Universe, where you can be anybody in the world. You can live your life here on the internet. Be who you are, share a pic, baby, now you're set.
Hey everyone, it's me, your girl, Priscilla Sidon. I'm one half of Trash Pop. We are a drag queen pop band who makes videos every Saturday here on YouTube. Of course, we also make music. Check out our latest single, Super Galactic Party Tour, on all streaming platforms. Let's get into the video. Today, I thought I would put together around 12 top makeup tips that I wish I would have known when I started out doing drag makeup as a little drag baby. I have grown a lot on my makeup journey. I think I'm going to put in some old photos of my drag to compare it to where I am today, because I want you to see that it gets better. It really does get better. So that's kind of the purpose of today's video. You might be a new drag queen. Hello, welcome to the drag queen world. Makeup is hard. Makeup is a journey. Makeup takes a really long time to perfect, and that's completely okay. There are so many wonderful makeup artists out here on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter, and it can get so intimidating to watch all these other people create amazing looks. But I promise you, you will get better at your makeup too. And ultimately, makeup is only one small part of drag. You have to also have amazing personality like me. Just kidding. I hope that you'll find these tips really helpful and that you might be able to save yourself a few extra years, perhaps, by following the tips that I'm going to include in this video. So, if you want to see me lose all of this makeup and look disgusting and completely ugly after working all week, then keep on watching. All right, everyone. Now that we are here, no makeup on our face, I am ready to bring to you my top tips I wish I would have known starting out as a baby drag queen. The first one, of course, has to do with gluing down your eyebrows. The first tip I'm going to give is to use an alcohol-based cleaner or rubbing alcohol to clean around your brows before you even start to glue down. This removes any oils and dirt and debris, and it's gonna make your brows lay down a lot flatter, and it's gonna help the glue. I've already done this off camera, so I'm just gonna go ahead and glue my brows down. Of course, if you want a tutorial on how to glue your eyebrows down, you can find this in my basic drag tutorial video. This video is not going to be a tutorial. It's just going to be me talking about the tips that I wish I would have known when starting out. So obviously, I wish I would have known that you should brush down the hairs with a comb to really get those hairs flat. To layer down the glue, you have to use several layers. I wish I would have known that. And I wish I would have known how much patience you need to have with gluing down your brows. It takes several layers of glue. It takes pressing down the brow. It takes time and consistent effort to really make sure you're getting those brows correct. I wish I would have known to let the glue dry down before moving on to the next stage. That said though, while I think the tips that I'm going to show you are going to be useful, I do think that in general there are so many more makeup videos online now than there used to be when I started out drag. I feel like had I started out with all of these resources, it would not have taken me as long as it did to get better at makeup. Now, my next makeup tip that I wish I would have known is use a sponge, bitch. And I say this because when I started out with my makeup, I would just use my fingers to put the foundation on my skin. And then I would blend the foundation in with my fingers. I don't know why I did this. Maybe I saw my mom doing it that way. I thought that's how you put foundation on. Now I know that that obviously leads to like a very patchy blend. Also, like the oils in your finger can get into the foundation and make it look greasy. So, bitch, use a sponge when you're blending out your makeup, please. Don't do what I did. My next tip is going to be blend. It's called a beauty blender for a reason. So please make sure you're blending all of your makeup out. There are so many old pictures of me in drag where my makeup is just not blended. This goes for like foundation and eyeshadows. Really work on that blending. We don't want to see very harsh lines, especially in the base of your makeup. Another important tip that I have is to, when you're drawing on new eyebrows, start your artificial brow, the brow that you're drawing on, at the same point where your natural brow is. So start where you can see your natural brow and then make the arch higher from there. If you start where your natural brow is, when you make facial expressions, they're gonna look a lot more natural and the brows will work with you to emote. If you try to start your brow up here, when you make facial expressions, your face is gonna look a little wonky and not as natural when you're emoting. So as you'll see here, I use my same contour color to do my brow, and I'm going to start that where my real brow is and angle up from there. That way we're still capturing a dramatic drag brow, but we're keeping it with the emotion of the face. And as you can see, after powdering, we still have a lot of work to do to perfect and sculpt, and we're gonna use powders to do that. Which brings me to another one of my tips. It's okay if it's not perfect. Makeup is a skill, and like any skill, you're gonna get better over time. Makeup moves, it smudges, all kinds of things can happen that mess up your makeup. Take a deep breath. It's okay if it's not perfect. There are always things that you can do to fix it, and if not, throw a little glitter and go out there anyways. There's a reason why clubs are kept dark.
To hide the creatures of the night.
My next tip is going to be, don't be afraid to try out more expensive makeup brands sooner in your makeup journey. While I don't think it's smart to start out by buying only luxury brands if you don't have any experience with makeup, I do think that it's important to introduce a few of those products early on in your makeup journey to see how they work with your face and with your technique. Because sometimes you might think you're not good at doing eyeshadow, but you've been using drugstore eyeshadow and it's not blending out for you. When you try a better product, a higher end product, it's blending beautifully. It was not your technique, it's not your fault, the product just wasn't good. And so sometimes I think it's better to invest in higher end products to see how those work. Of course, if you're just starting out, start out cheap. Buy cheap foundation, buy some cheap palettes, play around with those because you can get good techniques with those. Then when you move on and you're ready to try higher end, more expensive products, you're gonna be amazed by how much less effort it takes to make it look really good. Okay, my next tip is to know your face shape and know your eye shape. This might be self-explanatory to some people, but it definitely was not to me when I started out. You see, I have hooded eyes, which means that this part of my lid disappears when I open my eyes, when I look straight. In the beginning of my drag career, I would spend so much time doing intricate, beautiful makeup on this lid space and then wondering why it wasn't showing up in my pictures. Baby, it's because you have hooded eyes. So now I know for my eye shape that that space is basically off limits. And so I just cover it with black eyeshadow and create a new crease, which works for my makeup style. What works for you is going to be dependent on your face shape. And so experiment, take pictures, and figure out what works for you. Which brings me to another one of my tips. Don't be afraid to experiment. Have fun. Makeup is artistry. It's good to let loose a little bit. Another tip, when you're doing drag makeup, it is okay to go big. These lines should extend out far in your face. You want to be dramatic. When I first started out, I kept my makeup very tiny, and I soon realized that it was not my personality. My personality was big and bold makeup, and so don't be afraid to go big. Of course, if you like a more subdued look for your drag, that's totally fine too. But I think you should give it a try at least once to go full Trixie Mattel on your face. And it's time for a little spray. I've always wanted to do this on camera. My other tip, wear a lash, bitch. There are so many old pictures of me in drag where I thought just doing makeup was enough. Look at the difference. A lash matters. It makes the face look so much more feminine, so wear a lash, bitch. It was actually Luna who got me into wearing lashes. All right, everyone, this is, of course, the final look. Yes! Thank you so much for sticking around. If you've made it this far in the video, I only have one makeup tip left for you, and that is that makeup is a journey. Makeup is a journey, so take a lot of pictures, keep a little file for yourself to see how you've progressed, because we all have bad makeup days from time to time. We don't always have perfect makeup days. Sometimes we go through whole eras where our makeup is just a little off, and that's completely natural, but eventually you will figure out what works for you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Priscilla Simon, one half of Trash Pop, and Trash Pop is going to make the world pop. Bye!